On June 20th, 1975, the summer blockbuster Jaws was released, becoming the highest grossing film for the time. It was only natural for Universal, the company that produced the film, to tap into that success by giving it its own attraction at Universal Studios Florida from June 7th, 1990 to January 2nd, 2012, meaning the ride has been absent from the park for over a decade.
You know they're bringing it back, right?
They're not bringing it back.
So today, we are going to attempt to bring the attraction back to life in a top 5 video format. So let's dive into the top 5 facts about Jaws, the ride.
This is base. You're cleared for departure, Amity 6. Have a good trip.
The original Jaws film is a beloved classic that thrilled and terrified audiences, but what is the one thing that everyone says about the shark itself?
The shark still looks fake.
Now, surprisingly, they didn't use real sharks to film Jaws, and even more surprisingly, they didn't use real sharks for the ride. I know, shocking. However, what might surprise you is that they used real shark teeth, and just like real shark teeth, they are very sharp. And sometimes the shark's teeth will get caught on the boats and damage them. Now, admittedly, it is pretty awesome, and makes a fake shark animatronic just a little dangerous, which made it more fun.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
When Universal Studios Florida opened, to say a lot of things went wrong would be an understatement. Rides were down, there were several hiccups with the ceremony, and Jaws was not spared from this chaotic opening day. You see, Florida is gonna Florida, and Florida weather is notoriously kinda nuts. One second it could be bright and sunny, the next second it's raining. Well, due to a thunderstorm, the Jaws ride had to shut down. Mixed in the group of other riders so happened to be, you might have heard of him, Steven Spielberg, the director of Jaws, and other classics such as E.T., Jurassic Park, and Raiders of the Lost Ark. With him being stranded on the ride during the shutdown, it might have made the situation just a little more embarrassing.
How embarrassing? How embarrassing.
Like many attractions built at Universal Studios Florida, they were often taken/inspired by experiences found on the Universal Studios Hollywood Tram Tour. They've been doing this since the beginning, and even somewhat recently. This is the greatest thing ever. Just look at it. It's beautiful. The Jaws ride was taken and expanded upon from the Jaws experience found on the Tram Tour in Hollywood. Now, I've never ridden the Jaws ride for myself, but the one on the Tram Tour, I've been on it quite a few times, and this is one of the highlights for me. This version of Jaws has a deep and interesting history, but that's a discussion for another time. Unlike Florida, this one is still operating, which is 1 point for Hollywood. We still have a Jaws experience. What's a beloved attraction that Florida's kept that's been taken out of Hollywood? I bet you can't answer that. Oh, that too soon. Ducks. Ducks are often found near lakes, streams, and other bodies of water. They are also found at theme parks, which, if you didn't know, Universal Studios is a theme park. Now, what does this have to do with the Jaws ride? Well, there's an urban legend that's been floating around for many years now, stating that on the Jaws ride, ducks were actually known to explode from various pyrotechnics and other effects on the ride. Now, this is actually true, and there's been several documented instances of this happening, like one of the dead remains of a duck getting launched into the air and landing into the lap of a little girl, which sounds just a little traumatizing, just a little bit. Even though Universal compensated the family, still, just a little traumatizing, and just a moment of silence for all of the ducks that exploded on the Jaws ride. Just a few weeks after the opening of Jaws the Ride, an incident occurred which led to Universal getting sued for $1 million. So what happened? Well, during this certain ride, a guest fell out of the boat. And what's worse about it, his family watched him fall from a section of the ride where the shark lunges at the boat. The guest later said that the shark was coming right for him, which, just like my last fact, just a little traumatizing, just a little bit. Now, after he climbed back into the boat, what was the reaction of the other riders? I mean, it must have been a combination of shock and confusion, right? No, they started clapping because everyone on the boat, apart from the man's family, obviously, thought it was part of the ride. After being gone from the park for over 10 years, the ride still lives on in the hearts of many Universal Park goers. However, if you're so inclined to ride Jaws, Japan still has a version of it that is largely the same as the shuttered Orlando version. So if you want to relive your childhood memories, get to Japan to experience Jaws the ride. If you have a ride you want me to talk about at the Disney or Universal parks, let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed today's video, please consider hitting the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.